Giving feedback to somebody can feel like walking on a tightrope. You want to help them get better, but at the same time you're worried about how one small misstep might be the source of endless internet drama, forcing you to live a life in exile to avoid all the salt that comes your way. And after all, you don't really want to hurt people's feelings, right? So how do you get your point across? How do you name the elephant in the room while avoiding being buried under mountains of salt? Let's find out. Hey guys, welcome to The Senpai. I'm Yannick and I've been coaching and training people in communications and leadership for about 10 years. And today I'd like to talk to you about how you can give feedback to somebody online. Be it your teammate who has been slacking off, a competitor who you'd like to discuss an incident with, or a content creator who could really improve from getting your feedback. Knowing how to give good rational feedback will avoid triggering the other person and helps you get your message across. So let's look at how you can do that. Oh, hang on. I want to set something straight first. Telling somebody that they're a noob is not feedback, for example. You're not going to get any better at playing Apex if your teammates are calling you a no-good scrub all the time. There's no value to be found in that. Besides that, feedback needs to contain useful information that the other person could use to improve themselves or change their behavior. When you're going to give feedback, it's important that you're able to remain neutral and rational. If you feel the beast raging inside, it might be good to let it rest for a moment and pick up the conversation when you're zen again. Your rage will only fuel the possible shouting match you're about to have. It's like asking Kratos, the god of war, to cite you soft poetry at your bedside for a good night's sleep.
When I go to sleep at night, bathed in the stars and palest light.
It's not gonna happen. And if you want to know more about what triggers people, check out my video on that topic, because having insight in what triggers people can help you recognize your own triggers and avoid triggering others. If you want to get your message across, it's important to know what you want to achieve with the conversation you're about to have. Having a clear goal helps you give the right direction to your message and avoid confusion. Now, the good news is that feedback generally has two goals. Either having people do more of a good thing or less of a bad thing. If you want somebody to do more of a good thing, you give them a compliment. And admit it, getting compliments just feels good, especially when they're authentic and come from people you respect. The ideal compliment has enough information so the person knows what they did right and why. This means that there's a big difference between good and great compliments. You played a great game is an okay compliment, of course, but we were able to make some big plays because you're in the right position all night is a lot better. It gives you as a player the information you need to repeat your actions next time. If you need somebody to do less of something or change their behavior, they will need feedback. For example, if you're a content creator and have a certain tic during your presentations, you'll probably never notice it until, you've guessed it, somebody gives you feedback. Getting feedback to improve is a kind of feedback that people like the least but need the most. That means it's important to be very factual and precise to make sure that the other person knows what to improve. To avoid people from getting defensive, I'll give you some tips on how to prepare your conversation. When people know why they should do something, they're more likely to agree with a suggestion. For example, if you're asking me to rotate in Rocket League without me knowing why, the chances of me actually doing it next game are pretty slim, because I have no clue. Give people a solid reason and explain the results of a change in behavior. If your facts are unclear, your message is not going to get across. Your feedback might even turn into a shouting match because you're arguing about whether the facts are true or not. For example, imagine that you heard a vague rumor about one of your team members that he or she might be talking trash about his or her teammates on his or her stream. If you don't investigate this first and have clear evidence, you don't have a solid case for good feedback. So make sure to prepare your case. Good facts are also much more helpful and allow you to remain much more rational. I'm giving conflict a special place in this video. Why? Because if you don't like conflict, chances are that you're not going to share feedback or agree with somebody just to please them. This might seem like a good strategy to keep people on your side in the short term, but it does not work in the long term. Trust is built by knowing each other's limits and having constructive conflict. If there are no conflicts, you will never really know the other person. So I invite you to start speaking your mind more and not to keep things to yourself. Really try to think about the long term. There you go. A few ways to get started on tackling feedback. And of course, this topic goes a lot deeper, but for now we'll start with the basics. Tell me what you got out of this video, and as always, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you really liked this video. See you guys soon. Senpai out. Bye bye.